He mad, but he ain't shooting. And a good afternoon, everybody. It is another fantastic edition of the Daily Ticket. I am your host, Sean Brace, joined as always, John Jansen, everybody. Well, not always, but majority of the time. John, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Were you doing a little bit of the Kendrick? Did we just see like a cultural movement just happen last night? I wasn't paying attention, but it seems like from when I woke up this morning that it was like this massive event just happened. And it's like taking over my timeline.
I got a bone to pick.
Yeah.
I don't want you looking up, sitting in the phone again.
Did we have a cultural moment? Yeah, it was definitely. It was something I've never seen before.
I haven't seen people come together like that in a long time.
Like, I hate Drake too. It's great.
Yeah. I've always liked that idea. There's like TV shows that I've watched, the idea of like a person is so hateable that like everybody, that it's the one thing that gets everybody together. And like Drake has become that. Drake has saved us all as society for being the most hateable person on the planet. And we've all come together. We've all come together now.
It was a Juneteenth pop-out show on Amazon that was scheduled, and it was supposed to be Kendrick Lamar and Friends, which it was. And then everybody was wondering how it was going to take place, what was going to happen. And there was a lot of great, like, not warm-up acts. We're talking about some big damn names in there, but it was a great, like, first half of the show. And then they took a long, extended, intermission, and then they come out, and Kendrick opens the show. He came out with the two diss tracks, right?
Yeah.
And I'm
surprised he didn't just play like 2 or 3 hours of Not Like Us. I know he played it like 5 times, I think.
At the end he did.
But yeah. Oh, did he play it all back to back?
Correct. Yeah, it was but there was more to it than just that. Right. But he opened with Euphoria, which is 8 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Plus he added to it. And it just was, look, this is a guy that I've seen multiple times live, including at the Trocadero. I have been on, look, true story, when To Pimp a Butterfly came out, which was, I think, his second record that everybody was going nuts for, right? Like, oh, everybody was all fired up. It's like 2011, I want to say 12, somewhere around there. And I remember tweeting about it going, I just, it's not hitting me. Like, I like it, but it's not hitting me. And then I kept on listening to it. And then I'm like, wow. And I wasn't a Section 80, I believe that was the name of his first album. I was not a fan. I didn't listen to it then. Didn't know the hoopla behind Kendrick Lamar. But it was real, and it was for a good damn reason, because he is that talented. So, of course, I go back, listen to Sexy. Oh, my goodness, the early stuff, incredible. And then you'd start to see the buildup, and like the legends are talking about how they're going to hand the baton off, and that's why Dre was there, Compton, all that. But, from being able to see him live, and there's another show on Amazon when he did it in France, in Paris, which just give that 90 minutes to 2 hours of your time. It's fantastic. Everything. He is the best in the game, bar none. There's nobody better in hip hop than Kendrick Lamar. And I've been saying it. I think there's been a case to be made for somebody that has big hits and all that. To me, Drake has always been pop. I've always said
Drake's a pop star. Yeah, Drake's a pop star.
I've always been on record saying that he gives me a Michael Jackson vibe more than anything, but there is awesome hip hop songs that he has. Wayne, like, you go back, there's some great hip hop songs that Drake has been a part of. But the issue is everyone got sick of Drake's deal, where it's like he's acting a certain type of way, and he's got this swag. I was listening to, he's on a DJ Mustard song where he's talking about gangbanging, and Common went at him many years ago, where it's like, you're gonna catch a body with me. No, you're not. You're not that dude, Drake. And people just had it. And he's got songs with Kendrick Lamar. That's the funny part about it. Poetic Justice is a great song, and I was hoping he was gonna play it to a point, but it is intriguing, and it's just, to me, for the people that were like, oh, Kendrick's good, but no, Kendrick is historical. He is, an award winner beyond hip hop artist.
Right. Dream. He's like if I were to compare it to like movies, he's like a Quentin Tarantino, like Martin Scorsese. Like he's a legend, and this is like an artist kind of thing. Like maybe, and I know some of his albums got big, like Good Kid, Mad City. I heard that everywhere, but he was never like Drake big. You know, he was never huge, and then this just transcended him past kind of all of that.
Yeah, because Drake has the dance club hits, and there weren't, you know, that sort of those songs out there. But you know, Chill Moody, who is a very talented lyricist in himself, even put it out a couple weeks ago when all this stuff went down. He was like, dude, you know, bottom line is you're talking about a guy who won a Pulitzer. Like they don't hand those out because you came up with a good song. Like Kendrick Lamar is just he's night and day compared to like who's in hip hop. It's just how I always felt. And I don't know about his you know, skeletons in a closet. To me, he seems like he lives his truth. And I think, you know, we're starting to see that more and more. Number one, you barked up the wrong damn tree, Drake. You were able to handle your own against Meek Mill, but Meek ain't Kendrick. And, you know, what we're seeing right now with Kendrick is that he has that next level element where I'm going to bury you. And he did last night. And there was even more though, John, because like, this was on Juneteenth, which, you know, look, for a lot of America and hand in the air, I didn't know was being celebrated all these years, decades, all that. I don't know what it is out there in the West Coast, but, you know, it should be a big deal. And I think it's becoming a bigger deal every year, as it should have been. But bottom line is last night, you get that type of celebration on that day. And then we know when you think of gangs, you think of Southern California, you think of Compton immediately. And I don't know, but you did see a mix of blue and you saw an S-ton of red on that stage. So you had real deal gangbangers coming out on stage, hand in hand, dancing to this damn song, all because of they hated Drake. It was insane last night. And Roy said, yeah, we saw a funeral. He's 100% right. Like Drake needs to stay on vacation. Like, dude, get in the album, get in the studio, come up with an easy 1-2 banger that plays in the clubs. People will move on from this, but he can't respond. He can't talk about it. I tell all my boys and my crew, don't tweet about it. Don't be on IG. I'm just going to release an album in the next couple months and we're going to get people talking about it.
The thing is though, what kind of album do we get from Drake though? Like the last time we saw somebody get buried so bad, MGK started doing punk rock instead of rap. Yeah, like what are we gonna see? Are we gonna start seeing Drake doing some hard rock, heavy metal? What is Drake gonna switch to? It can't be hip hop. There is no way this man can put out a hip hop record.
Did you just bring up MGK in this? Wait,
I'm just saying, like, but I just mean like that's the last time I remember somebody getting so buried that they literally had to change the genre because they couldn't do. Because if MGK put out a hip hop record, he was never gonna do it. Like nobody was gonna. And Drake, he's a pop star, you're right. But if Drake tried to like keep pushing against this and put out a hip hop record, that is going to tank so bad.
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree.
Nope, he is not going to do it because all the majority of hip hop now is on the side of Kendrick Lamar, and like
that's fine. Everyone in that audience will still be listening to Drake if it's a good damn song. Every one of them.
Yeah, but can you write a good hip hop song now? Are people going to think it's a good hip hop song because they know on the other side of that he just got absolutely buried?
Drake's got a
I don't know. I don't think he does. Oh, he has a great formula. And again, he's already put out pop songs. Hotline Bling was like the start of like Drake becoming this pop star.
MGK and Hotline Bling. This is John Jansen's take on hip hop. I love it.
This is all. It's not even hip hop. I don't have any takes on hip hop, but I just know that he's gonna have to like he can't put out a hip hop album. He can't. He's gonna have to put out something in a different genre.
Come one, come all. No, I disagree. I think he's got some songs that, you know, probably get in the lab with Lil Wayne, you know, get that credibility going.
There's no credibility anymore. He's lost all credibility. It's done.
Songs will
like lean deeper. You're right. Like he's a Michael Jackson type. Lean deeper into that.
Yeah, if it's a good song, people will be listening. Clubs will play it. Power 99 will be airing it. You know, let's just be honest about it. Again,
nothing's going to be bigger than Not Like Us right now. I mean, that song blew up big time.
Last night was stupid because
in the best way possible. It was amazing.
Like everybody knew every word. He didn't have to sing it. He didn't have to rap it. He didn't have background dance. He comes out and just does it with no, like he's he's incredible. He is simply the best. And, like I said, Drake should have known better. Like, dude, you can't be messing with certain people. And he is clearly one of those guys. But, when you're a big ego and you went toe to toe with Meek Mill, and Meek is damn good at hip hop and freestyle and all that off the top. Like he'll take it to you lyrically as well. But Drake had that marketing sense where he went back to back and ran it, and added that to the conversation, which was good, but it was less of like the lyrics versus, oh my God, he went, with 2 and he came out like there was just another level to it. But if you're going to match wit for wit, bar for bar with a guy like Kendrick Lamar, you're not going to win. And last night was great, man. It was really cool. And it's one of those deals for me where like, I don't listen to hip hop like I used to. That's all I used to listen to. That was it. All I cared about was rap. All I cared about was hip hop. And then, I grew older and I lost a little touch to some of these young guns and some of the sayings. And, a lot of that stuff kind of just I moved away. And, now I'm a nice, peaceful, gentler type of guy, listening to the Grateful Dead and Company. But so like, I love that where I get to tune into something like that. And immediately I'm like, I'm listening to DJ Mustard all morning. I'm YG. I'm Crip walking in this. I kid. I didn't do that. Did not do that. But
here I am still putting on Creed and their Good Morning America appearance from a few days ago. That's where I'm at.
Apparently, a lot of people are listening to Creed today.
Apparently, I don't know. I had no idea that people really like Creed that much. Yeah. But that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
I just want to say you might have to send a cease and desist to Kyle Brandt, because apparently he's now claiming to be Creed's #1 fan. And I'm like, dude, it's been on my guy's bio for years now. You can't just steal that. No,
now it's cool. Now it's cool. So all the media personality is going to start being like, oh, I was always a Creed fan. I've been openly a Creed fan for my entire life. I literally I was nicknamed Creed in high school. I was called Creed. Like I am an open Creed fan. And now all of a sudden, Kyle Brandt wants to take that. Get out of here.
That's the difference.
All you people go away. Actually, just let me enjoy my thing. Let me enjoy Creed myself.
All right. We got some sports to discuss, but let's keep it moving, though, because I do want to hit on this right from the jump and talk a little about Tuesday night, where we were able to get out with our friends from Villanova, a nice little invite from the people over there at Playfly Sports, Villanova Athletics, and, just an eye-opening opportunity to hear more and learn more about what NIL details, how Villanova is approaching it, and what they're doing to be better year in, year out, season after season, because there's still a lot of murky water out there, a lot of murky area that we have no idea what's new and what's not. And I just thought from everybody that had the opportunity to speak, whether it's Mark Jackson, who does a great job with Villanova Athletics, to, of course, our guy Nino, who's heading Playfly Sports, to Randy Foy, who's doing a great deal for Villanova in this next step, which we're hoping to get Randy on the airwaves with us coming up soon. It was really cool to be involved. Eric Dixon was there. Wooga was there. Wooga Poplar from Miami, from Philadelphia area, but transfer from Miami. They had the girls from girls basketball team. The young girl had 2 ACL surgeries. She transferred from Mississippi.
Yeah, transfer from Mississippi State. Yeah,
originally from Philly. So some cool stuff, and just taking it behind the scenes, and like the NIL term. Like you bring that up, and people are like, ugh. But it can't be like that because it's the new norm. So we all have to learn. We have to see what's real and what's not, what's good, what's not. And I can't thank those guys and gals enough for the invitation. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, and the education is great for all sides. It's not just for those wanting to get involved, as corporate partners with any school like Villanova. It's a protection of athletes too. Like that was also, to me, because that was the scariest thing about NIL. It was the wild, wild west, and that eventually it's good that athletes are going to be paid money, but since it was so unregulated, that athletes weren't going to be as nearly protected as they should be. Like you're giving them a level of openness, but you're also giving corporate people and businesses a level of openness as well to take advantage of some of these players. So a fact that a school like Villanova is doing this and educating a lot and being kind of the middleman between corporate parties and an athlete, to be able to make sure that everything is great on the athlete side and protect the athlete and protect whatever businesses want to get involved as well. So that to me was that was an eye-opening part for me, at least, because I just didn't know how protected student athletes are going to be. And it looks like, at least from Villanova's side of things, I don't know if every school is doing this. I imagine some version of this, but Villanova does have a program, I think, called Friends of Villanova, that is doing this to really protect kind of all sides here, which is interesting.
Yeah, look, and there's a lot to learn, and we will continue to do
so much to learn. Even they're learning. Villanova, every school across the country, basketball school, football school, Power 4, Group of 5, does not matter. Everybody's still learning this. Everybody's still learning how to do this.
One of my big takeaways from Tuesday night is the future. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly. I just think we're in. It's starting soon. In 2 months, we're going to have college football. It's going to open up a lot of eyes there. But even
just seeing it in practice, only Power 4 instead of 5. The fact that I had to say Power 4, I'm still not even used to that. But yeah, the fact that there is a completely, one of the bigger conferences, historical conferences in all of college athletics, just completely wiped off the face of the earth. Like that's eye opening. Like, and that's not going to be the only one. It's going to continue. Stuff like this is going to happen over and over and over again. And
unfortunately, it seems like our government's going to have to get involved. And I have no confidence. I don't know how anybody has any confidence in anything government related for the last 8 years. So at this point in time, it's tough. So I just, like, I've definitely come to grips with the fact that college football, college sports are completely changed, and they're no longer what I came up with. And I'm somewhat okay with that. I'm definitely going to hold out my opinion as far as like the history of the rivalries will always mean something to me. And it's a shame that we lost out on that, but we're
losing regionality, right? It's becoming so national now that we're losing out on. Penn State should be playing Pittsburgh and Temple and, Rutgers, and they play Rutgers because in the Big Ten, but like local schools, that used to mean something. And that still is a lot of fun. Like, don't tell me it isn't, because I saw last year, a lot of North Carolina schools ended up playing each other. Man, that state absolutely loved that. Correct. And that was great early season college football. App State playing ECU, App State playing NC State, ECU playing, I think North Carolina. Like, all of that was fantastic for those schools, and that still should be a big part. And I even think the state of North Carolina is mandating that they have to play each other. Those schools have to play each other every year. Like, that is going to be in law. So I like that. I don't give anything about politics. I really don't care about politics. But I think there does have to be something to really force these schools to keep that, because then you're losing the soul of college football if you end up going to national, which the thing is, it's all going to go that way.
Unfortunately, there's a lot more bigger things on the totem pole for
absolutely,
college sports, and that's what's frustrating. On the same side, that now we're going to have to get politicians involved and our government involved. And these aren't my words; these were words that we were hearing on Tuesday night, and it just sucks. But it's the reality of where we're at. Almighty dollar controls all, and you got to blame the NCAA. You look squarely at the NCAA for refusing to back off and give the opportunity to find a middle ground with the players, the student athletes. And unfortunately, they chose to not, to bury their heads in the sand and keep making as much money as possible. And eventually the courts will run out. And here we are, and we're still not even done, but it's clear as day that the NCAA is the number one with the bullseye in their back, and they have screwed this up through and through. And here we are now. We just got to make the best of the situation, and we will cover the games. We'll keep you up to date on what NIL means. But I'm excited from the local perspective of Villanova bringing back the curtain and allowing us from here. And you know what? You had any questions? They got plenty of people that will answer it, from businesses that want to get involved, all of that. Really great names involved. Baker Dunleavy, of course, with the Dunleavy name, where he comes from, with the dad and the brother. And like I said, Randy Foy, first-round draft pick, was one of the three-headed monsters. Alan Ray, Randy Foy, and Kyle Lowry.
Love that team. Love that team so much.
Great run. 4 seasons, 3 seasons, and if I'm not mistaken. But
that was the start. They were the start of what Villanova basketball has become. It was that.
Oh, I agree. Definitely. That was it. That was the change. That was the Jay Wright has a system. He recruits guards, and you can win with this. Like, okay. And they never won the championship, but they were pretty damn good, fun, and
it set up even all the way back to then. Like that set the foundation for when they won in 2016 and 2018. I know that's what 13 something years later, 12, 13 something years later, but that set the foundation for all of it for Villanova.
All right. Well, from there, let's get on over to the sports side of thing. And yesterday was a very interesting day as far as sports were concerned. You know, you had the Boston wrapping up the championship, which really still, nobody cared about here locally. But of course, they hopped on a flight and shot down to Miami. It was weird. That's so weird. You can't celebrate in Boston. You can't keep that at home.
And the thing is, I love Boston. Boston's great.
It's the summertime. You should be able to find a club or two to hang out in Boston.
You can find plenty of spots in Boston.
I don't know what that was. Didn't really care to read too much about it, but I saw they were on a flight to Miami. I'm like, okay, cool. And then the Phillies played a day game at 1:00. I want to start off by saying, if you were in the stands yesterday at that Phillies game, God bless you.
I'm going tomorrow. It's not going to be any better.
Colin's going tomorrow too.
Well, it was a 1:00 game, so it was like even worse because it's afternoon. But still, even at 6:00 when I get to my seat, because we got to go a little bit early because it's the Cole Hamels appreciation day. So like, got to get in the seats a little early. It's going to be hot. It's going to be brutal.
Yeah, God bless you guys. And they ended up losing yesterday. Harper went yard twice. I want to check the MVP market because there are some people out there that believe he's going to win it. And, look, I get it.
He's getting closer, but come on.
Shohei's the best. Shohei's incredible. And right now, Bryce Harper is plus 300. Shohei's plus 160. Now, last week, Shohei was 4-1. Of course, Mookie Betts gets hurt. You get Mookie out of the equation. So I think, look, if you believe there's money to be made on Bryce Harper, now's a good time to fire at 3-1. That's as high as I have seen it recently. So nice work on that if you want to fire. But they ended up losing yesterday. Tough game to the Padres. They got the day off today. They'll be taking on the Diamondbacks for a 3-game set this weekend. A lot of, number one, they're taking on the Diamondbacks. So we know what took place last year. They lost to the Diamondbacks. So a little revenge. But two, of course, everything going on with Cole Hamels and Friday and everybody coming back into town. It's going to be pretty cool. A lot of emotion. So, we'll talk about it tomorrow and get
a lot of emotion and then Taijuan Walker.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get into some of the plays and some of the props and take a look at the pitching matchups, all that and more. Diamondbacks are playing the Nationals today in some day game action. So they'll be taking the road trip up, and we'll be hitting on all of that tomorrow. But it is definitely something on my mind. And Cole Hamels, man, Cole was that guy, and he was brought up to the ranks. He got into a bar fight. I remember him at Scranton Wilkes-Barre. There was just a lot of buzz about Cole Hamels, and not to say that I didn't believe it, but I was like, I need to see it. And Cole proved me wrong through and through. Like, I wasn't a doubter, but I definitely wasn't too much of a believer. I don't know.
He faced a lot of doubters, and it was almost like directly after the 2008 when he won the World Series MVP. It was almost even directly after that, the next season, because I think he struggled a little bit. Well, there were a lot of like Cole Hamels haters. There was a bit of that. In the same way, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Aaron Nola, a little bit. No,
he was a better pitcher than Nola in my mind.
For the most part, yes. I would have to look at Hamels' numbers. I would say for the most part, yes.
You give me the opportunity to take a pick, I'm taking Cole Hamels. I'm not even thinking twice. I don't care what the numbers say. Not even thinking twice.
I mean, it's close. It's close.
Cole Hamels was a badass dude. And in 2009, let's be honest, he goes on to run. They win the World Series. They pitch all that extra games in the postseason, and then you go on the award train, and you get fat, and that happens. And he's not the first person to ever have that happen to him before. So Cole, when he was here, man, 06 first season. Win and loss, nobody really cares about, but 4.08 ERA, 15-5 in 07. Of course, they came up just short that year, but 3.29 ERA. 08, he was the difference, 3.09 ERA. He was your number one starter, 33 starts. Get him the rock, get him the ball. He would shut down a losing streak. And if things didn't play out, I often say this, if things didn't play out the way that they did, I don't know that the Phillies win the World Series. And what I mean by that is this: in the final day that they were able to clinch, they did, and Cole didn't have to pitch that next day. if I remember correctly, and therefore Cole was able to start game 1 in the first series, start game 1 second series, and I believe started game 1 in the World Series. I want to say that was the case.
Yeah.
So it all worked out perfectly. If it didn't work out like that, I don't know that the Phillies are able to get the job done.
Yeah, they needed Cole Hamels to pitch as much as possible.
Correct. And he started game 1s.
Yeah.
So going back in time, but he was a hell of a ball player, hell of a pitcher, and definitely a guy that you can lean on to, as I say, get the ball every 5 days and shut down that losing streak, come away with a big 7-inning outing, giving your bullpen some rest. And, oh, by the way, the numbers match up. 2.79 ERA and 31 starts in 2011. He was an all-star, 3.05, 3.60. His ERA for the Phillies in the 10 seasons, 3.30. That's pretty damn good, John Jansen.
Yeah, it's really good. And just to put the numbers together for that World Series run, he went 4-0. He only had a no decision in the last game, which they obviously won. And I think he had a no decision because of the rain delay and the rain postponement. And so they had to go to another day. But he ended up doing extremely well. Yeah, Hamels was more consistent. But yeah, Hamels went 4-0 in that postseason, a 1.80 ERA. And was absolutely fantastic. Only one start where we didn't go more than 6 innings. And it was, again, the one where the last game in the rain delay. So, yeah, he pitched twice in the NLCS and he pitched twice in the World Series. And if that doesn't happen, they don't win the World Series. Like, if he doesn't pitch game 1 and end up pitching again in game 5, yeah, they probably, it would have been tough because it's not like they had an amazing pitching staff.
No.
It was full of
Jamie Moyer, Joe Blanton.
Right. And those guys were fine, but Cole Hamels was the anchor and in a spot where, we weren't exactly sure if he could be, that kind of ace, that anchor for a starting rotation. He was everything and beyond that. He was incredible.
Yeah.
In that postseason.
So it's going to be fun. You're going to be down there at the ball yard tomorrow. I know a bunch of people are going as well. So that's going to be a great night. And hopefully you stay cool.
I can't wait. Because we're going because my mom is Cole Hamels' #1 fan. So my mother really wanted to go.
Very nice. Well, that's going to be great. All right. From the MLB, well, quickly on this, just last night, I guess the big story was Garrett Cole did come back. What an entertaining game. Let me hit you with this one if I could real quick.
0-2. And he sets down Jahmai Jones. Dylan Tate freezes him on a sweeper. And the strikeout puts an end to this one. It goes to the Orioles. 7-6 in 10 innings. And you can count it. Dylan Tate shuts the door.
Baltimore Orioles radio network, and the Yankees ended up losing 7-6 in 10 innings, as you just heard, putting a little damper on Garrett Cole's return. However, he didn't pitch all that well either.
It was a return start.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, there's not much I'm not going to play. Dude, they got Garrett Cole.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. He only pitched 62 pitches.
Yeah, Garrett Cole is back at this point in time, June 20th. Where I thought he was done for the season. And, oh, by the way, the Yankees have gone above and beyond what I expected them to be able to do so far through 3 months of the season. So it's a hell of a get for them. But last night, that was a great game filled with a lot of theater. There was a bases loaded in the ninth, if I'm not mistaken, deep fly ball center field, a great grab out there. Of course, you had our guy blowing it, Kimbrel.
Greg Kimbrel.
I'm telling you, Baltimore, cut him. I'm telling you, don't make it tough on you. Just cut him now, and you won't have anything to worry about down the road.
Yeah, they have bullpen issues. If there's one thing about Baltimore, every team has them. I'm sure the Yankees, you can come up with some things. The Phillies can come up with, obviously, some things as well. But Baltimore has a very clear issue. Their bullpen's weak. It's really weak, and they better, if I were them, I'd be going all out for a pitcher like Mason Miller out of Oakland.
I would say that possibly Jackson Holiday could be on the trade block for pitching. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I think you'd be crazy to trade him.
I think it'd be a little crazy.
But
especially because this may be like the least value he's had so far.
That's true.
Because he came up and didn't do anything. Like, no,
you're right about that.
I wait till that guy has some value if you want to do something like that.
Well, hey, look, the time is now, though. You got a team that can win it all this year. You went on your run last year. There's always steps that you need to take. I think they did take that first step. I don't have them winning it all this year, but I think they absolutely could. I had them winning the division, had them going over their team total wins. Everything looks good so far, except for the division. I can't really slam dunk that at this point in time, but definitely slam dunk on their win total. And I just feel like, if you can go out there and right some of those wrongs that, like you said, with the bullpen or another starter or something, you got to make those tough decisions. And Jackson Holiday isn't the only stud in their farm system right now. They got a ton of them.
Yeah.
So you got to make those tough decisions if you're a general manager. There's only room for so many great players on your team, young players, and go out there and get some veteran players, some leadership, and somebody that can step in and has been there and done that. I don't know. July 30th, I think, is the trade deadline. So 40 plus days away. But
I mean, it'll be interesting because you're along with that, having such a great farm system. They have a lot of great like MLB ready guys. Connor Norby's ready there. They brought him up. Jackson Holiday's ready. They just got to get him kind of back on track and he'll be ready. It's a lot of Major League Baseball ready guys. So it's an interesting kind of way to look at it is, you can, go all into the trade deadline, but also you have guys that are still coming up within the next year or two. And why would you want to get rid of a lot of that? Just for potentially to get something for this year. So it's going to be an interesting dance that they play. I'm sure there's other guys deeper in their farm system and deeper as prospects that aren't nearly MLB ready, but still good prospects that they can maybe trade away. But it'll be interesting because, again, a lot of reinforcements are on the way in the next year or two, and it's just how much they're dependent on this one season to do all of that.
Correct. Nine total games in Major League Baseball today. But just to follow up, put a little bow on that bad boy on DraftKings Sportsbook, Yankees minus 245 to win the division, 200 plus 200 for the Baltimore Orioles, and a game and a half separates them. Look, it's June, so I'm not trying to tie up your money, but I just think that's a good bet. Plus 200 Baltimore to win the division. You get a little something there. Now you're invested, and it's heightened your awareness a little bit in that division. Intrigues you a little bit more for some of those games. Matter of fact, dude, I'm going to a bachelor party in 2-3 weeks.
Hey,
down in Baltimore, and Friday night we're seeing the Orioles Yankees game.
Pickles Pub. Pickles
Let's
Pub.
Go.
Pickles Pub. Go there.
I'm gonna go swim in the harbor. You can go swim.
If you want to check out a good wing spot, Pickles Pub.
Yeah, I heard. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good. All right.
Yeah, that's not a bad bet. There are just things that could fall apart for Baltimore.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Long way to go.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll still take Baltimore to win that division, though, at this point in time.
Fair enough.
They are playing today, 4:05 coming up here, game 2. Your boy Gil on the mound for the Yankees and Cole Irvin on the mound for the Orioles. Gil minus
Irvin.
Cole
Irvin.
Yeah, that's.
Come on, man. How is that guy not only still around but pitching well? What's happening? It's
a good question. But Baltimore is definitely desperate, and they're lucky.
His ERA with the Phillies was 5.83 in 16 games in 2019. In 2020, he played 3 games and had a 17.18 ERA, and since then has been mid-4s and in the 3s in a couple of years.
How about that, sports fans?
Great. Good work there, Phillies. Good work.
Nice little run on Cole Irvin there. Yep. Once again, Phillies with the day off, so we will move off of MLB, and I do want to quickly jab at that. We do have an extra game in the Stanley Cup Finals. I believe it's probably going to come to an end here. Game 6 in Edmonton tomorrow, so it's the night off here. But it's definitely something that we should hold on to, because we had the sweep we had essentially a sweep in that NBA Finals, which was a disaster, but credit to Boston for handling business. And I thought the Panthers were going to sweep the Edmonton Oilers, but they drug them back to Edmonton, and now we got ourselves a game 6 in Edmonton, and they are minus 118 favorites, Panthers minus 102. So tomorrow night, 8:20 p.m., a little something to keep our attention there as far as Stanley Cup playoff action.
Is there a chance here for the comeback?
Yes.
I really think there is.
100%.
This is the most pivotal one, because I think game 7 Florida would be tight, and God, it'd be hard to stop that momentum.
Edmonton is plus 275 to win the series. Panthers are minus 330 on DraftKings. That kind of tells you where you're at.
But Edmonton's certainly got the juice offensively, and man, it just feels like once you see the puck go in the net a few times, like they did in game 4, I just feel like the floodgates have kind of opened for that.
Yeah, I'm with you, but Panthers are really.
It's a team that has the juice, like they can score. That's why they're here. Edmonton can score a ton of goals.
Yeah, but they didn't in the first couple games, and that was the issue.
Right.
And of course, Panthers held it down defensively. They're just really good. So I'd be shocked if it does go. However, I won't be shocked if it goes 7, but I'd be shocked if Florida doesn't win, because that's coming back to their barn. And, it's going to be tough to go on the road and win in that environment. But they just did in game 5, so maybe they'll have a little something there. However, if you want to wager on it, just to let you know, tomorrow. All right, quickly on this, back over to the NBA, but more so from Sean Bernard's timeline, who is tweeting about possible trade scenarios. Now,
oh boy,
in 2024, the difference is now versus years past is everybody has a podcast. Some have 2, some even have 3. Look at LeBron James. I don't even know how many podcasts he has.
I don't.
But all these folks are getting their words out from their own mouth, which is cool. And a guy like Paul George has had a few things to say. He talked about when the Clippers lost Batum, and who else did they lose from that team that came over to Sixers? Why am I drawing a blank? They lost to 2 players. It was Batum and somebody else.
I can't.
You don't remember?
No.
Well, you said that they were glue guys, and they were never able to, get that going again after they lost them. And it's the truth. I get it. But at the same time, a guy like Paul George, it's just tough, because I realize that if you brought Paul George in here, you get Paul George, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. It's a pretty good 3-headed monster, and it's fun, and it's different, it's new. Nothing hits me as like, ooh, that's going to get the job done. That is a championship caliber basketball team. What is the move that would make me feel that way? It's very tough.
Yeah, that's a great point. Is there anything that make you feel comfortable about the Sixers just because of everything that's happened? I mean, there's no matter what move they make, there's always going to come some level of like questioning it because of all the moves they made in the past. And like that's the thing is, Bernard's right. If they get Paul George, that's an immediate upgrade of what they were last year. It may be even better than when they had James Harden because of the player Tyrese Maxey has become. So they really just need a wing, and here comes Paul George, the perfect fit for all of that. So, I mean, it would be great. Like on paper, everything would look good, but it's just, that you just question, well, will this work out for the Sixers though? Because nothing else does. Like, why would this work out? Paul George is also oft injured. Embiid is always injured. It's just, what are the bench players going to look like? What are the role players going to look like? It can't just be those 3. If you're relying on just those 3, they could take you so far. But as we saw with all these other teams that ended up going, I mean, the Mavericks, look at the Mavericks. They didn't just go because of Luka and Kyrie. Gafford and PJ Washington and all those other guys were a huge, huge part of their defense improving. So it's like, it's okay, you get Paul George, but then I question them, what next? That can't be your only move. You can't have a vet minimum and a guy like Kyle Lowry playing games and starting for you. So what's the move after that? How do you bolster this roster to just be more than 3 players or more than 2 players?
Apparently there's a guy that's coming over from Hungary that was in the league. I don't know.
Guys,
there's rumors all over the place. I don't know if it's Hungary, if I was just pulling that out of my rear.
I think it did. You might have.
Yeah. There was a report. Again, Sean Bernard is all over anything and everything Sixers. So be sure to follow him at Sean_Bernard1 as always, and stay up to date on all the latest trade innuendos and rumors and all that and more for the 76ers and the league itself. But we're still in a holding pattern right now. And, Paul George, I just asked myself if they do get him, it'd be great. And I'm not going to be upset by it, but I don't know if it's going to necessarily push me to believe that this is the year, like I still.
And as you just said, there's nothing that's going to ever push us into that again until we see it, until it actually happens.
Until we see it, And well, it depends, because a team like Miami, a team like Boston, they have been the dominant teams in the last 5 seasons. It's either been one of those 2 franchises represent the East in the NBA Finals last 5 seasons, and then you had Milwaukee before that. And so we have to enter Milwaukee into the equation, and it's like, okay, there's the bar. So Sixers get Paul George, and it's way too early because we don't know who's leaving, who's not, who are they signing. So I can't even get into any of this. But I just, like you said, there's got to be more than just Paul George for us to sit here and go, let's go, bring on the Sixers season. I believe in them, 12-1. Let's fire on DraftKings Sportsbook. I am not there. You know where I am, though? You know where I am there on? Does that make sense? Duke basketball. Dude.
What?
Duke University.
Okay.
Have you seen the highlight clips of these kids?
I mean, they're good. Yeah, they got some pretty damn good players going there this year.
Who is this 7'2" guy?
I have no idea.
No,
I saw a 7'9" guy going to Florida.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter.
But the 7'2" guy looks looks good.
He might be number 1 overall pick.
I thought
He
Cooper
might
Flagg.
be the number 1 overall pick. I think he looks better than Cooper Flagg.
Okay.
He looks more athletic than Cooper Flagg.
That's a hot take.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
I don't know who the hell this guy is. Again, everything happens so fast.
You're getting this all from like high school tape?
No, he's practicing with Duke right now.
So you're seeing practices.
It's Sudanese big man, Kaman, Maluach. Maluach. He, 17-year-old, 7'2". He looks more polished than Joel Embiid after his first year at Kansas. He looks just more athletic. Wow, this little video blew me away. And I don't care. You could say, oh, Brace, it's a little video. Calm down.
I was just about to say, Brace, it's a little video. Calm down. That's exactly what I was going to tell you. Because it's truthful. It's a little video.
No, there's levels.
You just said he was going to be the number 1 overall pick just off of a little video.
Yes, and so is Roy. Yes, number 1 overall pick.
I know, Roy, I'm with you. That's wild.
That's
absolutely wild.
Mark the tape.
These
June
scouts
20th.
look at all the tape in the world, and they're going to look at all these Duke games, but like Sean in 25 seconds, that's just the greatest play I've ever seen.
Insane. All right.
I think you're insane right now.
No,
I think you're going too far.
Nope. I'll hold on to it, baby. Hot take.
Matt Painter? You just see somebody over 7 foot and think he's the greatest thing to live?
Stop it.
That's what you are. What are you, Vince McMahon?
Zach,
who are you?
Could not sniff this guy right here. All right.
Okay. That's what Matt Painter would say.
This guy
he'd say the next big thing.
Number 1 overall pick. Okay. I don't even know who else is in the class except for Connor Flagg. That's all I got for you.
Who is this guy? Victor Wembanyama? Do you think? Like what do we got?
Cooper. Is it Cooper Flagg?
I think
Connor.
So.
Yeah,
no,
Cooper
it's
Flagg.
It's Cooper. Yeah.
From Maine. That's all you need to know. Have you ever? Is there any name me a great basketball player from Maine?
I don't think I can name you anything great from Maine.
Sudanese, this kid's been through things, okay? And he ended up in Durham, North Carolina. I'll take the kid from Sudan any day, all day versus Cooper Flagg from Maine. Is that a good breakdown or not?
You're giving me the oddest scouting report I've ever heard on a player in my life. Like this is the most wild scouting report ever, and you got this from a Wikipedia search and 25-second clip.
25 seconds.
This is wild. Scouting's this easy. This is scouting. Scouting is this easy.
Well, first of all, he's at Duke, okay? So in the NIL era. Okay, exactly. So that's number 1. Number 2, stop it. Number 2 is you could trust your eyes a little bit, right? You could do that. That's all right. Now, is it a little hot take is to say number 1 overall pick? Put that to the side. That's fine. But as we sit here right now, and we brought this up last week, we talked about college basketball as far as the national championship. And because we brought it because of UConn. And UConn was tied between 3 teams. 3 teams are at the top at 10-1. Duke's 12-1. I put a bet in on Duke last night. You're never going to see a better number than 12-1. I can't believe it's 12-1.
Yeah, and the thing you're probably getting right now too is because UConn's so good, they've back-to-back champions.
Correct.
They're going to be such a low number, even though they maybe shouldn't be. I mean, it's still a great team, but I don't think UConn should be going in as like one of the best teams right now.
They have
you are getting a little bit of value.
They have a lot of unanswered questions. Kansas is no joke. It's UConn, Alabama, and Kansas 10-1, and then Duke 12-1. Again, I know it's June.
I know. Yeah, I want to be talking college football, not college.
These seasons will start, and Duke is only going to go down. That number is only going to go down. So hop on it now. 12-1, mandatory right here, right now on the Daily Ticket. You need to have a Duke championship ticket from DraftKings Sportsbook in your portfolio.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't wait to see how many of those you have in your portfolio by the time we get to March.
I got Phillies to win the East.
I just meant college basketball in general because you did a lot of that last year.
No, I did
Finally
not.
you had UConn by January, I think. And then
Yeah. Other than that, I didn't have anybody else. Stop.
you had a few others. You had a few
The pandemic year, I had like 3 or 4 teams. Dayton. I had a bunch of teams in the pandemic year. Normally, I narrowed
last year too. I gotta remember. I gotta bring up the tape.
At UConn. I didn't have
You had
anybody
UConn
else.
by like January, February, but you had other teams before that
did
that
not.
you were like infatuated with.
Lies.
It's not a lie at all. I
All
think Kansas, you might have put Kansas on there.
No, I didn't buy it.
Houston, maybe.
No, nope. Houston definitely a pandemic year, I think. Like I said, Dayton too as well. Trust me, you're crossing the streams. You're thinking about one year when it's not. All right. Want to end on this. It's been a fun hour here. Daily Ticket. We got a jam-packed day of programming coming your way from Swinging and Dinging and X's and to you. Oof, ugly game last night.
Oh, brutal.
Philadelphia Union are
not many times you see 2 yellow cards on one play. Not many times.
Tough watch these days, but I'm still tuned in. I'm still pulling for the boys in blue. Jimmy, I'm not bailing on you. Here's my one thing about Jim Curtin, I would say.
Why is anybody bailing on him?
I'm not a big superstition type of guy, but
Ditch the suit.
Ditch the suit.
Yeah,
Just do it. Just say, you know what? It's too hot. Go back out there in your duds. No one has to know anything. You're not doing it because they're losing. It's just hot. That's all you got to say. Just bring it back to JC.
Yeah, you could say the Union lost their swag this year, and maybe that's when Jim Curtin ditched the swag. That's when
I think it could have something to do with Jim Curtin's sideline uniform.
I know it has nothing to do with his tactical plays. I've been seeing so much of like Jim Curtin potentially in the hot seat. Like, why do we do this in sports where like it's such an obvious thing? Why do you have to point outside of the obvious? The obvious thing is they don't have any other players right now. They had to get rid of Carranza or at least have him transfer over to another squad because the squad paid him a ton of money. The Union don't have talent. They don't have any talent. They've tried to run it back for 3-4 years in a row, and that never works out. So why was it going to work out for the Union? Like it's so clear what the issue is, and it's not Jim Curtin.
All right. Well, that's one thing. Yep. From last night's game, and it was a tough loss. On to the next one for the Philadelphia Union long season. We will end on this note, John Jansen. We do a segment on this show called One Man's Take, and it came from, hey man, one man's take segment. One man's take. I don't want to argue with anybody. It's just one man's take. You can say whatever you want. You can feel however you want, but one man's take over here. We have reached the plateau. We are way over the top at this point in time. That every purchase now, I am being asked to round up and donate to charity. I don't care how this makes me sound because it's all for charity. Understood. Stop asking me. I work too hard for my money. I know everybody else does. Times are hard. I got one kid, one child. My thought, people that have to raise a full family, 2 to 3 kids, are you kidding me? Stop asking me on every purchase at the supermarket, gas, like
movie theater. Regal does it.
Dick's. Do you want to donate? To stop it.
I think Wawa does it too. Wawa has
Stop. I don't want to donate. I want to keep my money. I don't want to round up. Okay. Like I get it. Donations are good. And I'm sure you could show me that numbers are up for these these places that are accepting money, all of the above. I'm sure you can show there's a lot of pluses. If there's got to be a way for my credit card to just stop it. If I use this certain credit card, I should be able to opt out of you asking me wherever I go that if I want to round up and donate. I'm getting gas. Do you want to donate to Saudi Arabia? No, I want to keep my money. I don't want to donate anymore. Enough. It started at the Giant. I get it. And now it's everywhere. You go to the ATM. Would you like to donate money back to the teller? No, I work for my money. I don't want to feel bad. I don't want the cashier to ask me that question. Like, enough. Stop asking me to donate to round up money. I'm not doing it anymore. It's stupid. Stop it.
So I know when I used to work at Harris Teeter when I was in North Carolina.
One man's take.
And so there was something like that. It was round up or like a certain promotion. And if you had people do it, like you could get a certain amount of points and I'd be able to get a free sandwich. I basically lived off of free sandwiches from Harris Teeter for like a few months as a broke college kid. So if there's incentives for employees, I will do it. But most of the time there's not. So, yeah. But I would do that. Anything for an employee to get a meal out of it, I'd do that. But outside of that, it's like an extra part of the transaction process that I already want to be. It's not even about money to me, because the only time I really do round up is like when it's like 5 cents. Fine, whatever.
Oh, I never look, and I don't round up. I just say no.
I know in my head.
You're right. There's 6 questions that's being asked. Would you like to use this money? Do you want cash? No.
Yes. Do you want cash back? Do you want this? Do you want this? I'm like, no, I just want to pay. I just want to pay and leave. Like that to me is like my time is I want to get out of there. So the quicker I get out of any place I'm at, I don't care if it's Wawa, if it's a grocery store, if it's Target, I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's even fast. I want to get out of there. My objective every time I go to one of those places is to get in and out as fast as I possibly can. And if you keep doing that to every customer that comes up for a transaction, it's going to cost me time. I don't even care if it's a minute. That is still a pain in the ass to wait there for that minute.
I just think there's got to be a way that we can find that middle ground where there are plenty of people that don't mind, that do donate. God bless you. You make money. That's awesome.
What happened to jars? Have the jar out there. If you get money, whatever. Everything's digital. Yeah, I don't know. That's what
it should just be like if I use my Citizens Bank card, my ATM card, my MasterCard, whatever it is, I should just be able to opt out from being asked those questions.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. You automatically opt out, and you can automatically opt in, or even give the thing of ask me every time or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. That's not a bad idea.
One man's take. It's just the other. It's too much. It started at one place, and now it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
You go. Gas stations, movie theaters.
I did say yes to it last time. I was in Regal.
Dick's Sporting Goods. I spent $111. Would you like to round up? No, I don't want to spend any more money. I want to go home. I got my purchase. Like, I don't know where this came. And again, I know that there'll be somebody listening that's going to do, oh, you know how much money is being raised? Great. Good. I'm happy. If there are people out there that want to opt into donating or have the question asked, that's fine. Me, stop it. I don't want to be bothered anymore. It's my money.
Yeah, Sean Brace doesn't love the kids. He hates charity. Sean Brace, known charity hater. Sean Brace.
How you know that money's going to kids, Roy?
That's the thing. Who knows?
No, it was going to some sporting place for raising money for kids, and I'm like, I get it. It's a great cause. Good for you. I don't want to be bothered. I just want to come here to spend my money that I work hard for. That's it. I think people have gotten the idea of my my one man's take rant there. Yes, it is a segment, John Jansen, on this show. And you know what else is becoming a segment?
It was just what you did. Like you just
take a lap.
Take a lap. Oh, I like that. I'm
gonna pick out a media member every week, and I'm gonna tell them to take a lap on one of their.
If you told me to take a lap, would I actually have to take a lap around like the building or something?
It's just a saying. Okay. But if you want to get underneath somebody's skin, tell them to take a lap.
Yeah.
All right. Final thoughts before we get out of here. Anything for you?
Watch the movie Hitman. I don't know if I've talked about it enough on this show yet. Hitman is my favorite movie of the year so far. Richard Linklater did it again. It's a fun, and the thing is, it's an accessible, fun Netflix movie. Pop it on. Brace, I think is perfect. You and the wife want a movie night and just watch a movie. Hitman is absolutely perfect. It is. It's my favorite movie.
I thought Hitman was a game.
No, it is a rom-com essentially.
Well, it was a game. PS4, bald-headed guy.
Oh yeah, well, Agent 47, yeah, Hitman. Even though I don't like those games, but yeah, Hitman, awesome movie. Glenn Powell
looks like a stone cold killer, man. Let me tell you that right now.
Who, Agent 47?
Yeah. Agent 47, yeah.
I never. Back to my point. Richard Linklater came out with a great film, and everybody should watch it. And this thing should have been out in more movie theaters. I think it was like in movie theaters for a week, but now it's on Netflix. It's a great movie. Everybody, I implore you to watch it. It's so.
Have you seen the new Monkey movie?
Is it
Planet of the Apes? Is that what is the name of it?
I forget what it's called, but no, I haven't watched it because I've only watched one of like the new like series or trilogy that they have out.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I watched the one from 2017 last night. That's when I fell asleep.
I think that's the one I watched.
Yeah, I like those movies. I'm trying to get the wife to go to the movie theater to see it in movies. So
nice.
Yeah,
I do not recommend seeing The Watchers. The Watchers are not good. Bad Boy Ride or Die, solid, like just a perfect go there. Go get there with a large bucket of popcorn and just watch some funny quality action movie.
Mike Lowry.
Watch Hitman though. Everybody needs to watch Hitman.
Can I
Best movie
just
of the year
say?
for me.
Can I just say something real quick on that?
No.
How come every time I look at those guys in the trailer, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence,
Yeah.
all I can see now, of course, they're up there in age, so times have changed. I get it, but I'm sure they've gotten a couple shots here and there too, right? Right? But I just feel like all they look like right now is when Will Smith ended up getting the face stuff from Hitch. Remember, he had that situation in the movie Hitch, and his face blew up. And the same thing happened to Martin Lawrence and Martin. His face blew up. I forget what the reason why is. Now, every time I see these guys on commercials, that's what like their faces look like to me. It's a very troublesome time for me. I don't know.
They're older gentlemen. I mean, damn, let them go.
No.
It's still quality, like fun movie.
Mike Lowry.
But see Hitman. That's all I'm asking. See Hitman.
All right, great stuff, John Jansen. As always, back tomorrow. Enjoy the games. If we don't catch up with you, sir, over the weekend, live at Parks, 9 to 11 a.m. Dick Girardi, Mike Kern, John Jansen, Kyle Nunamaker from Parks Sportsbook and Casino every Saturday. Looking forward to it as always. All right, for John Jansen, I'm Sean Brace. Don't go anywhere. Next up, X's and the U. You got Matty G, Adam Booth, and the great Sebastian Latou for the next hour, followed by Swinging and Ding It. Of course, the post-U.S. Open edition. Travelers going on right now, and a lot of low scores happening, that's for sure. So jam-packed day of programming right here on The Gambler. Don't touch that dial. We'll talk to you.